Hello everybody, my name is Shikabane, a card designer with the Arakai TCG, and I'm here with my third and final new player video to round off this guide. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to create an account on untap.in, the platform we use to play, and on top of that, I'm going to show you how to build your first Arakai deck. So, when you come down to untap.in, that's the website right up here, you're going to go to create account, you can log in with Discord, or create an account with your email address, enter a username, email, password, agree to the terms and conditions, and register. I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in. So when you get to this screen, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take this little button here and set it to custom CCG. Because it'll be on all games by default, and you'll just see a bunch of extra schlop, and you probably don't want to see all that schlop. So instead of looking at all of that, we just want to see the custom CCG section. Because we are a homemade TCG as of right now. We're hoping to release one day. And you're not going to have any of this here. This is just all my decks. And I'm actually at capacity, so I have to go ahead and delete a deck right now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete a deck. And we're just going to make a brand new deck. So we're going to do to create deck here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put it in as Armored Dragon. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, on video, we're going to be making an Armored Dragon deck together. Yes. Yes, indeed. So the first thing you have to understand about Arakai deck building is that you can only have 50 cards in your deck. That's just the amount. You can't have less than that. You can't have more. You're at 50 exactly. The most amount of cards you can have of a single copy is 3. So we're going to set that default card quantity to 3 here, okay? Now, in order to make cards, you have to know what the cards are. For that, luckily for you, I have made a complete Excel sheet of every single card in the game for every single nation. So I go to Primal, there's Primal cards, Haven, as soon as the images load in, Haven cards, etc., etc. But today, we're making Armored Dragon, which is a Blaze deck. It is a pure Blaze deck for set 1 standard format, and we're going to make it together, ladies and gentlemen. And you'll be wondering, how are we going to make this deck together? Well, I'm going to go through the Excel with you, and we're going to pick out all the Armored Dragon cards and decide which ones we want in the deck. So the way we're going to do this first is we're going to Control F and just type in Armored Dragon. Now, every single Armored Dragon card will be highlighted by the Excel, so it's very convenient to find certain things. If I wanted to search, say, an ally with 14,000 power, right? Let's say I want an ally with 14,000 power. Boom, suddenly, I'm just looking for allies that have 14,000 power. We're going to be ignoring everything down here. These are set 2 cards, we're going to be ignoring those. So I can immediately find allies with 14,000 power, for instance. But today we're looking for Armored Dragon. The first one we're going to start off with is Blade Dragon Nexus. Blade Dragon Nexus, I'm going to pull it up on the Nexus, on the untap. When you're looking up your Arakai cards, you want to make sure you always have the little Arakai moniker. Certain cards names are in use by other games, so you'll know you have the right one if it just has the little Arakai moniker next to it. You can also look at the little image here. It will show up on the right, and you'll be able to see that this is indeed the Blade Dragon Nexus from the Excel. This is basically the main character of the manga's ace monster. So we're probably going to need 3 of this guy. We're just going to shove him in there at 3. Yes, sirree. Start off our deck profile nice and easy. Another way to look for what to base your deck off of is to look for level 5s, yes. So let's look for level 5s. Level dots 5. So now we're only to get our level 5 allies, yes. Blacktail Dragon, that is a Dragon Lord. We aren't interested in that. Igneal, a Dragon Lord, not interested. Legion's Captain Shiza is an Armored Dragon level 5. So that's probably pretty important, right? This is probably the Armored Dragon boss monster. Is there any more? No, under that, we're into set 2 cards. We're not going to be looking at those. Ignore the set 2 cards. Legion Captain Shiza is our boss monster, ladies and gentlemen. It is a level 5 with 3 drawback and 25,000 power. Below the average. It has an invoke cost of expending 2 spirit, and when it's invoked, you search your deck for up to 1 level 4 lower Armored Dragon ally, reveal it and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. And once per turn is a trait effect, a soft once per turn. When you invoke another ally, Armored Dragons you control get a blanket 4,000 power to end of turns. That sounds pretty important. I think we're going to go ahead and throw him in there at 3. And we're making sure we have, then these cards here, these are not our game. We don't know what these cards are. We don't care about them. We're only after the Legion's Captain Shiza. Ignore these cards later. These are from the initial draft. We're going to be not reading these. These are from the old draft of the game. This is the new draft. This is the finalized draft that we're making. So 3 Legion's Captain Shiza and 3 Nexus. I think we're off to a flying start here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to the Armored Dragons. Let's look up any more level 4 Armored Dragons. Yes. Dragon Spawn, that's a Dragon Lord. Vrosh, Weapons Enthusiast. Expend 1 spirit and when invoked, target a level 2 or lower restrained ally in play, destroy it. That sounds pretty important. I think we're going to go ahead and throw that in there too. If it sounds good, we're just going to put it in at 3 and we'll worry about the ratios later, okay? If it sounds like a good card, put it in at 3. We can figure out the ratios later, guys. So, is there any more? Nope, that's set 2. We're ignoring set 2. Alright, well, let's look at level 3s then. Level 3, yes. Level 3. First one up, Heavyweight Dragon, the level 3 vanilla Armored Dragon monster. Sure, let's throw that in. We enjoy vanilla monsters, don't we, guys? Hope you like the twittity-twat of the keyboard. You're going to be hearing a lot of it in this video. What else we got here? Dragon Lord's Pyromancer. That's a dragon ally. We don't care about that. Selfless Elite. Expend 1 spirit. Perma. If one or more allies you control be destroyed by battle by a card effect, you can destroy this ally instead. That doesn't sound too good. But we have to remember, our boss monster, Shiza, lets us add any Armored Dragon that's level 4 or below. So I think we're going to put 1 of this in there. Just 1 copy. It might come up in a certain situation. Let's just add 1 copy of the Selfless Elite, guys. I think that's perfectly reasonable. What else we got in here? Oh, we're already to the set 2, so we're donezo. We're ignoring set 2. That is all of our level 3s, guys. We're not going to be playing any more, apparently. All right. Level 2. First off, we have Ancient Bushido Dragon, an Armored Dragon Samurai, 2/1, 14k. When invoked, discard an Armored Dragon, expend a spirit, search it for a Nexus ally, and add to your hand. Wowee. And we are playing the main character's ace monster from the manga. We should definitely be playing this guy. Let's put him in. Ancient Bushido Dragon. Don't mind if I do. As soon as the picture loads, there we go. So you can see, all you have to do is search up the card's name, click and drag it into your deck, and then adjust the ratios, guys. It's that easy. Keep going until you have 50 cards. We're going to keep going with this deck. Let's see what other Armored Dragons there are. Charged Elemental is not an Armored Dragon. We're going to ignore that for now. Dradonic Lancer, a level 2 vanilla monster with 15,000. This is kind of tempting. We'll throw it in for now. It might get cut. We'll see. Dradonic Lancer, guys. If untap would load. There it is. Untap is not always the best sight. Dradon Shocktuber, you guys remember this from the first video? Guardian's 5,000 power as a perma. We're going to be definitely putting him in. Dradon Shocktuber, guys. Going to be putting that in. Wowee. Lost Tribe follower Mana Bimono. 2/113, and while you control a Nexus ally, it's 7,000. That sounds a little too specific, guys. Our only Nexus ally is the Blade Dragon Nexus, and that's not too useful, I don't think. It's very big, but I think we can do better cards than this. So I think we're going to skip Mr. Mana Bimono for right now. Dradonic Charge Leader, 2/1 with 13 as well, and target another level 3 or lower Armored Dragon ally control. Return the target to their hand. Wowee. Hard once per turn. I think that sounds very nice. We're going to go ahead. Wowie, wow, wowie. I typed in the wrong card. I'm making errors live on camera. Dradonic Charge Leader. Yes, sirree. This is going right into the deck as soon as it loads. Put that sucker right in there. Another level 2 for our deck. Dradonic Rider. While you invoke another ally, this ally gets 7,000 power 20 turn. This is just a more specific version of that Mana Bimono card. I think this card is going to go in the deck for sure, guys. Dradonic Rider Arakai right here. Yes, sirree. We're putting that in the deck. What else we got? Master of the Inferno. That's a wizard. We don't care about wizards. And we're into set 2. All right. That's all the level 2s, guys. Let's look at all the level 1s. Wowee. Grismo. We don't need Grismo, I don't think. That's not a dragon. Shield Wyvern. Level 1 Armored Dragon. When a level 2 or lower ally your opponent controls attacks as a trigger effect, sacrifice it and expend 1 as cost to destroy the technology. That sounds pretty powerful, guys. That sounds like good removal on the opponent's turn. I think we're going to be playing that card for sure. Remember, we don't want this card. We want this card. Remember to look for the Arakai, not Wyvern Steel Shield. Shield Wyvern, guys. Keep that in mind. Once, Dragon Hatchling. That's a dragon, but not an armored dragon. Not useful to us. Emperor's Advisor Kalma. When you invoke another armored dragon, trade once per turn. Expend a spirit, look at the top 7 cards for your deck, reveal up to 1 armored dragon spell with aura from among those cards, add it to your hand, guys. That tells me there's going to be some spells with aura that we're going to want to play. Let's go ahead and put him in it with 3, and we can adjust it later, guys. Emperor's Advisor Kalma right here. We're going to put that guy in at 3. Again, don't worry too much about the total right now. We're going to be cutting this down for sure. That's a demon. That's a shaman. We're not going to ignore it. Mina, Deer Extraordinaire. That's a human. It doesn't say Armor Dragon on it. We're ignoring it for now. Tavern's Head Player Wiccan, a 1/1 Armor Dragon with 8k. When you invoke another Armor Dragon ally, spend spirit, draw a card. Well, that just sounds dandy. Let's go ahead and throw that in there at 3. Yes, sirree. And then we're into set 2. So we're going to ignore that. And that's all the allies, guys. That's every Armored Dragon ally, except for Manabimono, in the deck right now. Will we keep them all in here? I don't know yet. But for right now, it's a good start. So this is a good start to the deck. Next, we're going to be once again looking for Armored Dragon cards. But this time we want spells. Oh, what's this? An Armored Dragon we missed. A level 0 Armored Dragon, guys. I didn't look for level 0. This is an Armored Dragon. It's level 0. We're going to put it in for now. Dragon Foot Soldier. Go ahead and whip this little level 0 guy in there. Maybe we'll keep it in, maybe we won't. We'll know. We'll see. We're up to 40 cards, guys. Again, don't worry about that so much. We'll be keeping it. Also, a save button comes up here whenever you make an edit. Oh, here we go. The Armored Dragon Aura spells. Boom, right next to each other. Remember that Kalma guy, a few cards ago, that he can reveal up to 1 Armored Dragon spell with Aura among the top 7 cards of your deck? Yeah, we probably want to be playing these for playing him. When you invoke your second Armored Dragon ally in a turn, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is an Armored Dragon, expend 1 to add to your hand. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. That sounds very powerful. That's a good way to go +1, guys. That feels very powerful. I think we want to play 3 of that, yes indeed. 3 advance the infantry, guys. Wow, we're going +1. Al-Harani, City of the Empire. When you invoke your second Armored Dragon ally in a turn, discard an Armored Dragon from your hand, draw a card, and expend your spirit. That's cycling, guys. Let's put 3 of each of them in. Al-Harani, City of the Empire. Suddenly, our deck is at 46 cards already. Is there any more Armored Dragon spells, guys? Rushed Rage. Expend a spirit and target a Nexus ally you control. It has 5,000 power and cannot leave play by card effects at the end of the turn. Wowee. That's a little too specific for my eyes. Maybe if there was more Nexus allies, maybe in set 2. But for right now, I don't think I'm going to play this card. It's a pretty good card, pretty good swift spell, but not what I'm looking for. And United We Stand is the last Armored Dragon spell, guys. Once per turn, perform the following in order based on the number of Armored Dragon allies you control. Gain a life, unexpend a spirit, draw a card based on 1, 2, and 3. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? If you have 3 Armored Dragon allies, and we're playing most of those, you can draw 1, gain 1, and unexpend 1? That sounds crazy. United We Stand, guys. Not from this card game, but from this card game. Wowee. 49 cards in our deck. And the only Armored Dragon we didn't put in is Manabimono. Well, that means our deck's about done, right? No. Not even close. This was just us taking a read of all the Armored Dragon cards that exist and putting the ones that we thought could be playable into our deck. Now, we want to go through and just read over any generically good Blaze cards that might be useful. A lot of them you can immediately discard, like Dragon Ward. We aren't playing any Dragon Wards. We can ignore these, right? Mina, Deer Extraordinaire. When invoked, expend a spirit, look at the number of cards from the top of your deck, equal to the number of Blaze allies you control, reveal up to 1 Blaze card from among those cards, except for itself, add to your hand. You know what that says, ladies and gentlemen? That says go +1. I like go +1. Let's go ahead and put that little lady in there. That's just a generically good Blaze card. So the process here is take your theme, in this case it's Armored Dragon, and just read through all the Armored Dragon cards. Then when you're done, read through all of the generically useful cards of that nation, whatever you're playing. If I was playing a shaman deck, I would read through all the shamans and then read over the rest of the generically good stuff. Haven, I'd read over the angels and then all the good stuff. Title, the Leviathans, then all the good stuff. You understand? You picked up what I'm putting down. You read over your theme, then the generics, and then you build a deck out of what you find. Dragon Lord, Wizard, probably not useful to us. Dragon Shaman, Dresden with Dragon Lords. Fire Spell, we're not playing any of those. This card adds a Fire Spell. We're not playing Fire, are we? When you cast a Blaze Spell, sacrifice it, draw 1, gain 1. That's pretty nice, but I don't think we need that. Valorous Last Stand, pretty good spell, but I don't think we need that either. Dredonic Warcry is a very powerful aura that during your turn, all your allies get plus 2,000 power. I think we want to play that for sure. We're going to definitely play 3 of that. Flaming Inheritance, as a swift spell, target ally gets 3,000 power till the end of the turn. That's a pretty powerful spell to have as a combat trick. Let's go ahead and put 3 of it in the deck. That's been pretty long, and we are well over 50 cards. Trust me, I know, we'll cut them down. Javelin of Cinders. If you control a Blaze ally once per turn, deal 1 damage to the opponent, draw a card. That's pretty powerful. I think we're going to put that in the deck for sure. You know me, I like drawing cards. I like cards that say draw, draw, draw. That's what we like. Reading over everything else, I think the rest of this is pretty good. I don't think we need to look at the rest of these cards. I think we have enough cards to work with, ladies and gentlemen. However, final step, you gotta look over your neutrals. Neutral spells don't care what's in your spirit, you can always cast them. And they have some very generically good ones, like Post Field, which if you're being attacked directly, nullify the attack. Recharge, which lets you just unexpend 2 spirit, and Clear Destruction, where if your opponent controls allies whose total levels are 8 or more, you expend 2 spirit, destroy all allies in play. We're going to definitely be playing some of these in our main deck. In particular, I think it's smart to always play 3 Post Field. You will be getting attacked face a lot. Make sure you're on the Post Fields. I'm going to play at least 2 Recharge to be safe, and I'm going to play 1 copy of Clear Destruction in the deck, just so we have some versatility. Clear Destruction is a powerful spell that if your opponent doesn't respect and plays into, it completely cause them to lose the game. Very powerful. Now, we're up to, yeesh, 67 total cards. That's a bit of a problem, guys. We can only have 50. We have to cut down this deck, so we only have 50 cards. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have to remember our boss monster. It all comes back to the boss monster that we've started off this video with. When he's invoked, search your deck for a level 1 or lower armor dragon and add to your hand. This means that more situational armor dragons, maybe we don't have to play at 3. Maybe we don't need 3 Nexus or 3 Vrosh. Maybe we can get away with playing only 2 of them. A good rule of thumb for ratios when it comes to levels is that you typically want to have at least 6 level 3s, 6 to 9 level 2s, and 8 to 9 level 1s. With 0s being optional. Now, we are really low on level 3s. This, I think, is perfectly fine for the deck, simply because as an Armor Dragon player, your 2s are going to compensate for your lack of 3s. Again, you have a lot of 2s that can get really big. Your Direct Rider and Shot Trooper in particular kind of make up for your lack of 3s. So I think it's perfectly fine that we're not following the ratio rule for this deck in particular. However, we have plenty of 2s. I don't think we need the vanilla level 2 monster. He's out of here. He's gone. Get him out of the deck. Get him out of my sight. Gross. Looking over our level 1s, we have a lot of them. Maybe we don't need all of them. These 2 go +1, and so does she, but Shield Wyvern is just a neat little combat trick. Let's jump him down to 2. Maybe we can jump down our Calma to 2 since we're playing 3 of each of the auras as well. So that already drops us down to 60. Well, what about our spells? Well, we want each of these at 3, but maybe we can get away with only 2 Al Harani because it's definitely the least good one compared to Advancing Infantry. Javelin's just an upstart. United We Stand is really good. Our neutrals are our neutrals. We still have to cut 9 cards. What are we going to do, chat? Well, you don't need the Dredonic Foot Soldier. It's simply just not necessary. He's getting out of the deck. Level 0s are kind of awkward, and I don't think we really need it in this deck. I think we can go ahead and cut Mina Deer Extraordinaire down to 2 as well. We have plenty of Armored Dragons, and we have plenty of 1s. They're all kind of fighting for space, you know what I mean? We also still have a shit ton of level 2s. We could maybe cut down some of those, but I think we should look at our spells here. We have a lot of consistency in this deck. I think it's okay to cut down some of our spells with Flaming Inheritance down to 2. And maybe we could cut the Javelin of Cinders altogether. We have a lot of cards. and they're all pretty good. A simple draw spell might not be the best thing for us, but sometimes that extra damage that Javelin can do can really be the difference. We don't really need to see more than one War Cry, so maybe we jump this down to 2 for now. And boom, suddenly we're down to 53 cards. We only have to cut 3 cards, and the easiest thing to cut, ladies and gentlemen, is Javelin of Cinders. And suddenly, if we go to right here, Visual View, our deck is now complete. We have a fully functional Armored Dragon list. Is this the best Armored Dragon deck ever? Probably not. I'm sure there's people who know this deck a lot better than me that will point at it and say, you should be playing X or Y. But we together in 20 minutes just sat down, read the Armored Dragon cards and some generic Blaze Good cards, and built this deck together. So to reiterate, go to whatever nation you want, pick whatever class or archetype that you want. Archetypes are pretty sparse in set 1, so just kind of go with a class. Let's say I'm playing Astral. I want to play mechas. Read all the mecha cards, baby. Sit down, read all the mecha cards. Then once you have all the mechas you want in your deck, read through the other generic good cards in the color, or ask for advice on the Discord. We are full of people who are more than willing to help you with building your first deck if you're interested as a new player. There's a lot of cards in standard format. After all, look at just all these cards in the Astral pool alone. Then there's Abyss, Tidal, Haven, Primal, and Blaze that we just went through together. There's a lot of cards, and I don't blame you for being a little bit overwhelmed and not knowing where to start. My recommendation, pick whatever you think looks cool, whatever kind of boss monster you think's good. Start by reading all of the level 5s, then pick a level 5 that you really resonate with. Then build your deck around that. For your first deck, it probably won't be great. You'll probably lose, but that's okay. Keep trying. This isn't a science. There's a lot of different variations and ratios that you can consider in Arakai deck building, and I myself am no master. All the deck profiles I post on the channel have only been posted after I've revised them a half a dozen times. And even then, they probably aren't perfect. I'm no god when it comes to building decks, and you shouldn't think of me this way. And you won't be a god either. But that's okay. Just together, we can build decks. I genuinely hope that these videos help any aspiring new players out there who are even remotely interested in learning the Arakai TCG, even just as a casual side thing. The link to the Discord to join our community will be down in the description below as per usual. And I hope to see all of you there. If you haven't checked out the first 2 videos in this guide, I highly recommend watching them. They're a guide about how to read Arakai cards and a guide about how to play the game in general. My hope is that with all 3 of these videos, you now have a basic understanding of how to read your Arakai cards, how to play the game, and how to build your very first deck. This has been Shikabane. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.